Welcome to the Regional Boy Podcast 0011. Where is Keir? They seek him here, they seek him there. Where is Keir? Keir Starmer, leader of the Labour Party, Her Majesty's loyal opposition. Missing in action since he became leader of the party. What's he been up to? What's he been doing? Why hasn't he been opposing the Conservative government in this crisis? So what did he do? One of his first actions was to write for the Daily Mail, the very newspaper that has campaigned against the Labour government all its life, one of the most vile right-wing rags in the country. So why did Keir write for the Daily Mail? I suppose we've got to ask him that. Why didn't you write for the Mirror? I don't consider the Mirror to be a serious newspaper, but at least it's supposedly on the left. So why didn't he write for the Mirror instead of the Daily Mail? Is it this thing about Keir being a very deferential person, not wanting to upset the apple cart, and it appears he's gone to hibernation. We're going into the summer and he's hibernating. He's certainly not holding the government to account, nor is his shadow cabinet. It's in fact quite appalling to see such lack of impetus in a shadow cabinet in a time of crisis that should be leading on the big issues of personal protection equipment for staff in the NHS and social care, and, for instance, transport workers such as the guys and girls driving the buses and the trains. Let's not forget, I think it's 8 people being killed by the coronavirus in public transport so far, maybe higher. We've got over 80 people now from the NHS and social care that have died of the coronavirus. We saw in the briefing on Sunday about PPE, about now it's suddenly okay to use PPE twice. Oh, just wash it down and have another go, when it's designed to be thrown away. And that Michael Gove wouldn't even comment on the fact that the UK gave 266,000 pieces of PPE to Turkey. Now, I'm not saying we shouldn't have done that, but shouldn't have we done an audit on our own stocks before we did that? Or should we not have replaced those stocks? Oh, we're giving 266,000 pieces of PPE to Turkey. Let's replace them. Let's order a replacement so we've got enough in stock. It appears that this government doesn't think like that. And Keir's there just, well, he's talking about our exit strategy. We need an exit strategy. We haven't even got anywhere near the end of the crisis yet. An exit strategy is far, far away than people think. I'm not saying we shouldn't have one, but they're saying we've peaked at the moment, or they believe that the peak has happened and we are on our way down. Well, let's just be careful about that, because death rates usually go down at the weekend. Let's see what today's death rate is before we start thinking about taking this lockdown or cancelling this lockdown after this first period, after this second period of 3 weeks. I believe that we will not see any sort of progress until the end of May, beginning of June. Maybe mid-June that people will slowly be able to go back to what normality is after this crisis. And certainly, by the looks of it, we've got a leader of the opposition who's not opposed anything yet, doesn't want to rock the boat, doesn't want to challenge the government. He should be there challenging on PPE. So who's come out and challenged them? John McDonnell, Diane Abbott, Richard Bergen, Jeremy Corbyn. Have we heard anything from Jess Phillips? Have we heard anything from, well, anybody in the shadow cabinet? John Ashworth is spokesman for Labour on health. He's tweeted a few things. He's tweeted something. He's also been on Facebook as well. But that's his job, as Shadow Secretary of Health. He should be on every single programme he can get himself on, bashing away at the government and taking them to task. The fact that doctors, nurses, healthcare professionals have been on Twitter, on Facebook, on various other social media platforms, and getting themselves onto TV and radio and talking about the crisis shows full well the gap between the government's response and the Labour response. And it's utterly shameful. And Keir needs to get himself sorted on this, because this is bread and butter politics to the Labour Party, or it should be, since the Labour Party gave us the NHS. It should be one of our strongest policies, being undermined by the shadow cabinet for not speaking out aggressively on PPE. So where's Keir? What's he doing? Besides writing for the Daily Mail, he's trying to find the person who leaked the Labour leaks document. And I know they've got to do that because of Information Commission and GDPR and stuff. And I know that's got to happen. That's one of those things that just has to happen. But people that's been reported in that document, racism, bullying, and undermining of the Labour Party, and those people who are involved in this document or named in this document, Keir Starmer should have gone to Jenny Formby as General Secretary of the Labour Party and said, I want all those people named in this document to be suspended. But no, tumbleweed has sort of flowed across the ground in front of everyone. Not a dicky bird. He's trying to bury this. He's trying to bury the report, and he's trying to take people away from the thing that's so despicable about all this, is that people allegedly plotted for Labour to lose the 2017 election. And if he's not big enough to go in there and suspend people, and suspension doesn't mean guilt, administrative suspension just means that you're being investigated. If he is unwilling to let that happen, then I can't honestly think of why I would want to stay in the Labour Party. And there are people saying, stay, 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 to a lot of other people. And you've got to look and say, well, give me a reason to stay. Give me a reason of if this is going to get better. Because all that's going to happen now is that Keir's there just to be the placeholder for someone else. Maybe a reappearance, a re-emergence of Tony Blair. Stranger things have occurred. You can see it happening. Who's pulling the strings? Is Keir Starmer his own man, or is Tony Blair pulling the strings in the background? Or hopefully thinks he is. We need to know. We need to know if Keir's up to the task. And all those people in my CLP who voted for him, they were because they felt that he could be better than Jeremy Corbyn. And on this evidence alone, Jeremy is miles better than Keir. Jeremy is still opposing the government, even though he's no longer the leader of the party. Diane Abbott is opposing the Conservatives, even though she's no longer Home Secretary. And Richard Bergen, the former Shadow Secretary of State for Justice, he's still opposing the Conservative government. John McDonnell, ex-Shadow Chancellor, still opposing the government. Where's Keir? Where's the blue-eyed boy that everybody in my CLP wanted to be leader of the party? Elected by about 40% of the party. Only 40% of the party. It's not a ringing endorsement of a future leader of the Labour Party, is it? Where are you? What are you doing? Start opposing this government now, because people are dying. And if you don't if you don't get the bottle to do it, then go. And some people say, oh, well, it's only been leader for 2 weeks. It doesn't matter. If you've got the bottle, if you really are a true believer in the Labour Party and the policies, and you really care about people, then you should be challenging this government now at every opportunity. You should be tearing them apart, because what they're doing to this country now under this crisis, And if Keir hasn't got the bottle to do it, if this had been Jeremy Corbyn, this would have been all over the papers. It would be frontline news. It would be on the BBC 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And all of a sudden, Keir gets a free pass. Well, it's not on. And if you don't get yourself sorted, there'll be a lot of us leaving the party. No matter what other people say, whether John McDonnell, Diane Abbott, Richard Bergen, whoever wants us to stay, a lot of us will leave while this joker's in charge of the party. And I'm sorry to say it like that. He's a highly intelligent person, but he's just not a politician. He has not got it in him to challenge the establishment. He's too deferential. And that's going to be his downfall. So either shape up or ship out.